Good morning, students. Today we will start chapter number 3, that is MS Excel, a quick preview. So, in this chapter, we'll have a revision of the different components of Excel sheet and how do we work them. Then, we will also learn how to use different formulas and different functions in your Excel sheet. So, children, as you all know, Excel sheets are nothing but the electronic spreadsheet programs that will help you to simplify your complex calculations. So there are different predefined formulas, and then you can also write your own formulas and simply make your complex calculations easy. Now, MS Excel can also record large amounts of numerical data, and you can apply different mathematical formulas on these huge amounts of data. So there are many softwares available in the market which are very similar to your spreadsheets. For example, which the software which are available, they are openoffice.org, then you have Calci, you have Lotus 123, you have VisiCalci. So these are some of the softwares which are very similar to the spreadsheet. These are all the spreadsheet softwares, and the spreadsheet software what we will be using is MS Excel. So as you all know, MS Excel is the spreadsheet software provided by Microsoft. So when you open your package of Microsoft Office, you get this application software within the package MS Office. To open MS Excel, you have to go to the Start button, and in the Start button, just click on All Programs. In All Programs, you need to go to the folder Microsoft Office, and in Microsoft Office folder, you have the application Microsoft Office Excel. So just click on Microsoft Office Excel. This is how the screen opens. Now, children, if you look here in Microsoft Office Excel, the file that opens is called a workbook. That is the reason at the top, if you see here, this is the title bar. On the title bar, you get the default name as book 1 because every file of Microsoft Excel is considered as a workbook. Now, if you come to the extreme bottom, you can see here sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. These workbooks are collection of different sheets, and these sheets are called the worksheets. So if you look here, every sheet will contain different rows and columns like this. So point number 1, the files of Microsoft Excel are called workbooks, and workbooks are collection of worksheets. Now let us learn what are the different components of a workbook. So coming to the components of the workbook, the very first component of the workbook you see here at the top is this. This is called a quick access toolbar. So on the quick access toolbar, you will have the commands which you will use very frequently. For example, if you just create any file, the immediate next step is to save the file. So saving is the most frequent option which you will be using. Therefore, I can add my save option on the quick access toolbar. Similarly, you will add the other options if you want to. So first component of your Excel sheet is the quick access toolbar. The second component is your title bar. Title bar will display the name of your workbook. Below the title bar is the menu bar. So if you look here, home, insert, page layout, these are different tabs and they are present on a bar, and this bar is called your menu bar. Below the menu bar comes the ribbon. So if you see here, The next one is a quite thick bar. So we'll call it as a ribbon. And on ribbon, if you see here, there are different options like clipboard, font, alignment, number. So these are nothing but groups. So if you look here, every group consists of some set of options. For example, if you look at clipboard, so clipboard contains options of cut, copy, paste and format painter. Similarly, coming to the font group will contain options which will be applied on your font. Similarly, coming to alignment and so on. Now below the ribbon we have two bars here. First bar here, the smaller bar, this is called as a name box. Name box will display you the name of the cell which I select. So if you look here, the cell which I am selecting, it's highlighted with a black bold border. So the currently selected cell is nothing but called as an active cell. So whichever cell is highlighted with a black border, that is the active cell, and the name of this cell will be displayed in the name box. How do we determine the name of the active cell? That we will be learning later on in this video. So for now, this bar is called as the name box and it displays the name of the active cell, that is currently selected cell. Beside the name box, we have another bar and this is called as a formula bar. Formula bar will be used to write different formulas with respective cell in your Excel sheet. So we'll be writing number of formulas, we'll be using number of formulas in the Excel sheet and we'll see how these formulas will be written in the formula bar. Now next one, if you see here, there are some alphabets and numbers. Now let us see what are these. Children, every MS Excel sheet consists of different rows and columns. So now here if you see these horizontal lines which are represented by numbers, they are called rows. So horizontal row. In short, you can remember as HR, horizontal row. And then these vertical sections which you see here, they are columns. So column names are given with alphabet and the row names are given with numbers. So now whenever I select any cell, its name will be given by first the column name and then the row number. So if you see here, if I select this cell, so this is column D, row 5. So the name becomes D5. Similarly, if I select this, so the column here is G and the row is 2. So the name is G2. Accordingly, you can name the other cells as well. So first comes the column name and then comes your row number. Now children, you might be having a doubt like how many rows or how many columns does an Excel sheet consist of? So if I just keep scrolling down, how many rows and how many columns will I have? So every Excel sheet consists of 10,48,576 rows. So there are 10,48,576 rows in any Excel sheet. Similarly, there are 16,384 columns in every Excel sheet. So this is the number of rows in every Excel sheet and this is the number of columns in every Excel sheet. So you need to remember the numbers. There are 10,48,576 rows and 16,384 columns in every Excel sheet. So this is about the row and column. Now, after row and column, if you see, the intersection of these rows and column is a cell, and the currently selected cell is the active cell. Now coming to this bar below. So if you look here, this bar is going to tell me what is the status of my sheet. So therefore this bar you see at bottom is called as the status bar. Then apart from the status bar, there are some scroll bars. So you have a vertical scroll bar and a horizontal scroll bar. So these are the scroll bars here. Now let us revise the components once again. The first component is a quick access toolbar. Then you have the title bar. Below the title bar is the menu bar. Below that is your ribbon. On the ribbon you have different groups. Below the ribbon you have name box and formula bar. Then you have the column names and the row numbers. So vertical column, horizontal ones are row. Intersection of a row and column is a cell. Currently selected cell is the active cell. The address of the cell is given by the column name followed by the row number. Below that you have the status bar and then you have scroll bars. So these are the components of your Excel sheet. Now children, let us enter the data in our Excel sheet. So here I will be creating an Excel sheet and entering the data of details of some students of a particular class. So I'll be entering some random data here. So first we will enter roll number. After roll number, I'll enter the name, then age, and finally address. So now here children, to enter the roll numbers, what I will do is I will use the option of autofill in Excel. So how do we use this option? To use the autofill option, simply type the first number and type the second number. Once both the numbers have been typed, now you need to select these two cells together. That is this cell and this one. To select the cells together, just simply click the mouse, left click the mouse and drag it on the second one as well. So if you see now both the cells have been selected. Once both the cells have been selected, now just look at this tiny square here at the bottom. You need to bring your cursor on this tiny square and let the cursor turn into a plus sign like this. Once this has turned to a plus sign, now you will just left click the mouse and simply drag it down. So if you look here, I am getting all the numbers automatically. So I'll take the information of only 5 students. So I'll take the roll numbers till 5. So now if you see here, roll number 1 to roll number 5 are already here. Now I'll be entering the names of the students. Now if you see here, this name Dipanshu is out of the boundaries of this cell, that is B5. So now how do I extend the width of this particular column? It's very simple. To increase the width of this column, I'll simply click here on the column name and bring this cursor like this to the line between B and C. So if you see here, now my cursor has changed from an inverted arrow to this. So what you'll do is just simply left click the mouse and drag it to the required width. So if you see here, automatically the width of my cell is increased. Now I can simply just go to age and enter the age of these students. Now, once the age has been entered, then comes the address. Once the data has been entered, now if you can see here, the data is again going out of the boundaries. So I'll do the same thing. Select the column D, bring the cursor and just drag it. So now if you can see here, all my data has been entered. Now what I'll do is, if you see, the data is aligned at different corners of the cell. So all the numbers in the cell, they will be aligned to the right hand side, whereas all the text will be aligned to the right side. This is by default. So to bring them to the center, what I'll do is simply select the entire content. To select the entire content, you will just left click the mouse and drag. So once the content has been selected, now you will look into the alignment group. So in the alignment group, if you see, these are the different alignments. So I'll just bring my text to the center and this. So if you look here, now my text is aligned to the center. Once the text is aligned to the center, your table is ready. You can make some modifications in the table. Let's say I want to highlight this particular row. So what I will do is, I will select the content of this row and I'll go to the font group. In the font group, I can just add some background color. I can increase the font, change the writing style of the font, and accordingly, whatever modifications you want to make in the font, you can just go to the font group and do them. I have shown you some examples. Now if you see here, my table is ready. This is how you're going to create, or you are going to enter the data in your Excel sheet. Once your data has been entered, now let us save this sheet. To save this sheet, you can either go to this button and simply click on save as and you save the sheet. So click on save as and then you can just give a name to this sheet. I'll give it sample sheet. So once you have given the name, just click on save and that's it. Your sheet is saved. Now if you see here, this sheet is saved as a workbook file and the name here is sample sheet. So my workbook name here is sample sheet, and in sample sheet, sheet number 1 consists of the information of the students that I have entered. This is how you are going to create a new worksheet. Now let us see some of the operations on this worksheet. Now let's say I want to copy and paste the information of roll number 1 and roll number 2. So how do I copy and paste? It's very simple. Just select the row which you want to copy. So let's say I want to copy only roll number 1. So just simply select this, go to the clipboard group, or you can use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl C to copy. And once it is copied, you just need to click on the location where you want to paste it, and then you can simply again go to the clipboard group and click on paste option, or use the keyboard shortcut, that is Ctrl V. So now if you see here, your data has been copied. Next is how to cut paste. So it's again very simple. To cut paste your information, what you will have to do is just go and click on the row which you want to cut. So I'll cut the row 1 from here. So simply just click on the row, click on the cut option, and then select the location where you want to paste it and paste. So if you see here, the information got cut from here and it got pasted. So this is how you will use cut paste. So I'll just take this one back to that location. So this time around I will use the drag option. So what you'll do is simply select the data which you want to just take, bring the cursor and make it like this. So it's a plus with 4 arrows on all directions. So now you just drag it, drag it, drag it and drop. So this is how you can drag the information. Let's say I want to drag this table from here. So simply select the table, bring the cursor to this, the one with the 4 arrows, and drag it to whatever location you want. So you can take it anywhere and drop. So that's how you move the data and you copy paste the data in your sheet. So to move the data, you will select the data and then using the cursor, you will just drag and drop it anywhere where you want. To copy it, just select the data, Control C, and to paste, Control V. Similarly, you can use cut, that is Control X, and then Control V to paste it. So this is how you will copy your data, cut the data and move the data. You can copy and paste it to any other sheet as well. For example, if I want the information of only these three students, I can simply copy them, go to sheet number 2 and just paste it. So you can also copy paste your data between the worksheets. So this is about cut, copy, paste and then save. So now children, if you see, I'll just delete this one. So to delete this complete row, what you have to do is select the row, right click and delete. That's how it will be deleted. Simple. So now my data is done with the modification. So just quickly save it. You can just quickly save these changes in your file. To save these changes in the file, what you'll do is instead of going there and clicking on save as again, just simply click on this save icon. This is the save button. Just click on this and your file is automatically saved. Now children, let us learn how to open an existing spreadsheet. So if you remember, we have just created a workbook with the name sample sheets. So now let us try to open that. To open any existing workbook, what you have to do is simply go to this button here, Office button. Then in the Office button, you have the recent documents. In case you are unable to see the recent documents, then you can directly go to this open button here, the icon, and then you have open written. So you can just simply click on this open, and once you click on open, it will give you the list of the sheets which you have already saved. So now I have created the workbook with the name sample sheet. So I'll simply click on the sample sheet and then click on the open button. So here you go. My saved sheet is open. These are the steps how you are going to open your existing workbook or existing worksheet. Now children, let us learn how do we apply mathematical formulas and different functions on your sheet. Before that, what I'll do is I'll enter the marks of these 5 students in any 3 subjects. So I have to write a heading called marks. So I'll be entering the marks only for 3 subjects. So what I will do is I will simply select this information and just drag or move this information one cell, just one cell below. Now what I'll do is I'll take these three cells and I'll use merge and center. So what I'll do is I will just merge these three cells so I can put a heading marks there on the top. So to use merge and center, you'll just go to the alignment group and there you have the option of merge and center. Simply click on this. Now my cells are already merged. So I'll just write the heading marks. So in this I will be writing the marks and then I will enter the name of the subjects. Now if you see, the table is ready with the marks entered in it. Now once this is done, let us learn how to apply different formulas in this. So what I'll do is in this cell, I'll just merge the cell and I'll use this to write the total marks. So again I'll just simply use Format Painter to apply the same format on this cell. So in this cell I will be writing the total of the marks. So now children, to find the total of the marks, I will write the formula to calculate the total. One way of writing the formula is directly adding the numbers. So to write the formula, you will go to the formula bar and put is equal to sign. So before writing a formula, always remember to put is equal to sign. After is equal to, just simply write 23 plus 21 plus 21 and then just click enter. So you get the total of the three subjects. Now when writing the formula, it is always advised to write the cell address rather than writing the numbers. Now why we are doing that? When you write the numbers, so this, by writing this you are giving a perfect reference to only the numbers belonging to only the third row. Whereas suppose if I write the cell addresses while entering my formula, I can use that same formula for the other cells to use or to calculate the sum. For example, now see, if you just click here, I have simply added the numbers 23, 21, 21. Now when I use the autofill feature, I get 65 in all the cells. So what happens is when I click here, if you see, the formula is unchanged. Similarly, if you see here, the formula is unchanged. Now let us enter the cell address and see how the formula will automatically update itself when you enter the cell address. So what I'll do is I'll just click here and now I'll write my formula is equal to. So the cell address of 23 is E3. So I'll write here E3 plus the cell address of 21 is F3, F3 plus, and the cell address of this 21 is G3, so G3 and enter. So again you get 65. Now this time around when I use my autofill, you see it's not 65 but according to the cell the formula is changing. Now look here, if I click here, the formula got changed to E4 plus F4 plus G4. If I click here, the formula got changed to E7 plus F7 plus G7. So this is the advantage of entering the formula, entering the cell addresses while writing the formula. Now if you look here, there are only three cells which are to be added, so it's easy to write down all the three cell addresses. But in some cases what happen is when you have number of cells, it's difficult or rather it is lengthy to write all the cell address. In that case, we will make use of something called as range. Range is nothing but a group of cells. So if I take this group of cells from 23 to 21, that is E3 to G3. So this is a group of cells. From E6 to H6 is a group of cell. So whenever you are writing a range in the formula, while writing the range in the formula, we enter the starting cell address and we enter the last cell address, that is the ending one. So this is how we write a range in the formula. So while writing the range in the formula, you will use the first cell address of the range and the last cell address of the range. So same in the same way, the formula which I have written here, that is equal to E3 plus F3 plus G3. I can make use of a function called sum, and then in this I can enter my range. So my range is E3 to G3 because I need to add only these three cells. So my range will become E3 to G3. So I'll enter E3 colon G3 and enter. So if you look here, the formula is this. Now I'll use the autofill feature. The values remain same, but then if you see here, the formula becomes sum E5 G5 like that. Now what I'll do is I'll calculate the average. So to calculate the average, what you will do is calculate the average of these. I need to change my formula. So what I will do is I'll enter the formulas and I'll show you in both the ways. First is average of the numbers is nothing but sum of the numbers by total digits or total numbers how many you are using. If you are calculating average of three numbers, let's say A, B and C, they are three numbers, and if you are calculating the average of A, B and C, then the formula becomes A plus B plus C whole divided by 3. So now if you look here, my average will become, so I'll show you all the three ways of entering it. First, the average will become 23 plus 21 plus 21 upon 3. So this is one way of writing the formula. Second way is using the cell addresses. So while using the cell addresses, you will put brackets and then write down. So it will start from E4, E4 plus F4 plus G4 upon 3. Then writing the last way, that is using the function called average. So simply write average and write the range. So the range is from E3 to G3. E3 to G3 and enter. So you got an average directly. So for the rest too, I'll just simply use the same average function. So this is how you are going to calculate by using these three different methods. Always it is advisable to use the cell address in the range, cell address while writing the formula. If there are less numbers, you can directly add the cells by using their cell address. Otherwise, you can make use of the functions which are already predefined by entering the range of the cell and applying the formulas. So these are the formulas which we have entered, and this is how you are going to do the things manually. Now the add-on advantage of using an Excel sheet is, in Excel sheet there are already predefined formulas where you don't have to use or you don't have to write any formula by yourself. You can directly use the predefined formulas in the sheet with your mouse click and get the job done. So let us calculate the minimum of the numbers. So what I'll do is, first I'll just simply make use of the format painter to apply the same effect here. Once this is done, I'll put the heading as minimum. Now to calculate minimum of the numbers, what I have to do is simply select the numbers, simply select the range from where you want to calculate the minimum of the numbers, and then here in the editing group you have an option called auto sum. So just simply click on this drop down and there you have the function minimum. So simply click on this and it automatically calculates the minimum of the numbers in the range. Now to apply the same minimum function to the other cells, I'll use the autofill feature and simply drag it down. So if you look here, out of these three, the minimum is 22, that's shown here. Out of these three, the minimum is 23, which is shown here, and so on. This is how you will use the predefined formulas in the Excel sheet. Other than this, there are number of formulas present in the formula tab. You have to simply click on the formulas tab, and if you look here, there are so many formulas already present. So all these can be applied by simply with a mouse click. So if you see, there are logical ones, then there are the text ones, financial ones. So by using Excel sheet, you can almost apply all the functions simply by a mouse click, all the mathematical and trigonometry formulas here. So if you want to calculate your GCD, HCF, everything is here. So there is also LCM. Let us calculate LCM of two numbers. So let's say I want to write LCM of the number here. So just go and click on this cell. Then go to mathematical and trigonometry formulas. Just scroll down to LCM and there you go. You can enter the numbers. So first number is 24, second number is 42, third number is 21. Now if I click here, there you go, automatically the LCM of the number is given here. So LCM of 24, 42 and 21 is 168. Using your formulas tab, you can make use of every function in the Excel sheet. Now in this chapter, children, we have discussed about the components of the Excel sheet. Then we have discussed about the how you are going to write the data into the Excel sheet, how you are going to make different editings, how you are going to copy, cut, move your data. Then we have also seen how to write the formulas in three different ways. First one is directly adding up the digits. Second one is adding the digits by using their cell address, and the third one is using the functions like sum, average, and giving the range in the functions. Then we have seen the predefined formulas, that is functions in Excel sheet. How do we use them with the mouse click? So you will directly go to the formulas tab, and in the formulas tab you have the function library where you can apply all the functions. So by the end of this chapter, I want you all to please use all this function. What you will do is, I'll be sending you the activity number 2 along with the PDF of the textbook. So at your home, you will make the Excel sheet which I'll send you in activity number 2. You have to make the Excel sheet as it is in your laptops or computers. If you don't have them, you can create the Excel sheets even in your mobiles. So you can use the Google Sheets in the mobile to create your Excel sheet, or by simply downloading WPS. So WPS is a free software which you can download in the mobile, and you can get you can access the Word documents or presentations or sheets directly. So if you don't have Google Sheets in your mobile phones, then download WPS, and there you can make these Excel sheet even in your mobile phones. So activity number 2 has to be done and stored in your devices for further references, because in the upcoming chapter we will make use of that Excel sheet and we will apply different editings and different effects and also many advanced features of Excel on that Excel sheet.